Hey everybody, welcome back. Northernlion, The Binding of Isaac, Afterbirth Plus. I'm gonna do the whole video just talking like this, like I'm a real influencer. Anyway, yesterday's daily, obviously I'm not gonna do the whole video talking like that. I also don't call myself an influencer, unless we're talking about influencing the sales of Men at Work's greatest hits album, Contraband, The Best of Men at Work. 36th yesterday, 0.44 overall percentile, great score. Died of delirium, honorable way to go, considering we pushed it to the limit to begin with. Today, it's like my perfect storm of bad runs. It is, well, Kane, I like being Kane, 4.20 damage right off the bat, tremendous. However, we're only going to Mom's Foot. Top score today is 49,000, front page goes from 34 to 49,000, I guess is the obvious way to phrase that. I hope that we find a seam. But there's like some best practices I haven't been following for finding seams lately. For example, right off the bat, if we get a teleport card, never use it. Never use it until you find the boss rush. And apart from that, I mean, you know the Awaz rune existence. You know the shovel existence. I was talking to my friend Corey, twitch.tv/flackblag about dailies, and he was like, I didn't know this. He's like top 30 maybe in the dailies, top 50 overall. He's got great daily scores, lots of top 10 finishes. But he said, did you know that the contents of a deal with the devil can change based on when you see the deal with the devil? So I guess there's like a, almost like a butterfly effect style causality chain that happens. Like if you use a Joker card versus earning a deal with the devil naturally, it could change what you see in that deal with the devil based on maybe what you saw throughout the rest of the floor. Like if there was another special item, for example, on the floor. So on the run where I couldn't find a seam, it was like 3 dailies ago, I couldn't seem to find a seam to progress past Mom's Foot. He said that he found the shovel, and his understanding of that was that the shovel simply existed for him, whereas it didn't for me. But I didn't go back and watch that daily. It's possible, even plausible, that I just actually had the chance to get the shovel and totally brain farted. It wouldn't be the first time. We're going to try to do a little bit better than that this time. Dingle with speed is not bad to fight, so we'll kill him and we'll save High Priestess for the inevitable bighorn fight that always happens on dailies. And Jesus Juice is quite good as well. The only reason I'm bummed by that is because it's the second fat finger in as many dailies. And that may also screw me a little bit when it comes to the getting the deal with the devil on the next floor. Well, I guess not, but well, I guess indirectly it could, because we could have killed a boss that could hit us instantly instead of having to actually fight him. But you know what? It's up to us to persevere over what is basically the dumbest mistake I've made in a long time. I gotta, you know, if something happens twice, I'm still likely to think it's a coincidence in this case instead of, you know, something that requires immediate attention. Well, I don't know, is NL's keyboard okay? I think this is what happened to my uncle's keyboard interface drivers before they crashed completely. No, it's just poor placement of the hand here. So it's really up to us to persevere. The big loss was not so much taking the damage, it was losing the card, which could prevent us from taking damage at a more dire point in the future. Don't like when the spawners get kind of stuck there. So our damage is 5.31 right off the bat here. That's very, very good. Halo of Flies is also excellent. Works us towards Beelzebub, which is a little unlikely to manifest itself too soon, but still. I will say, how hilarious would it be if the right path was actually to take damage? I don't know why I left there. If the right path was to take damage, come down here, go to the boss trap room, and then use the boss trap room. You know, maybe it gives you like goat head or something like that, and then you just win the run. It's plausible, maybe a little unlikely, but plausible. And this is a boss fight for which we would have loved to have had High Priestess, to be honest with you. This is a tough one. So I think the easiest thing that we can do right now is take it slow. We've got infinity time. All we gotta do, and we've taken damage on this room in the past. with certainty. Best thing you could do, just keep moving. Whenever possible, try to kill the fistula parts when they're over the chasms, but it looks like we're gonna survive. And honestly, this survival comes down to, and not just survival, but like, of course, getting the deal with the devil too, basically comes down to the fact that we got 5.31 damage this early. You know what? This is a total angel run. We don't need to beat ourselves up over this one. I think we're fine with our existing trinket, and we'll just use this, and this gives us 2 bombs, which is actually amazing. It also gives us shop access, and there's 2 luck upgrades in there, along with 2 cents to begin with. But we want to use 1 bomb. Well, we'll see what's in this thing as well, but we want to use 1 bomb. Come on. To get the bomb, the doubled bombs that are in that other room. And then maybe, it doesn't look like any of these are likely to necessarily give us coins, so we don't need to sweat that AWAS on Sue. So that's a next floor kind of pickup. I'm going to grab this. It's Ace of Clubs. We could use the Ace of Clubs on, like, I mean, we don't want to take forever here, but we could use the Ace of Clubs right here. There's 1 extra bomb for us. You never know how important that may or may not be. And then inside of our shop, is there any thing we can get? We could buy another Spirit Heart. We could blow those guys up and look for something, but I think I'm content where I am. Should not give us a secret room, but hey, 2 extra pennies. And then there's a lot of second secret room locations. The last thing I will say is that we could blow up the mushrooms in the secret room and look for, like, magic mush, but maybe because I've been low on bombs this whole run, I'm like, I don't really want to do that right now. I just don't really want to do that right now. Don't think that's the direction our run should be taking. We should be focusing on our strengths instead of our weaknesses. I don't know why I'm phrasing it in this voice that clearly has some kind of connotations along with it, although I'm reciting what appears to be a sound business strategy. Really says a lot about me, I think, that this is the voice that I default to when I want to say something self-righteous and possibly vapid. Okay. I'm revealing a lot about implicit, you know, emotions I didn't even know I had. I'm learning a little bit about myself, a lot about living, and a little about love. One makes you small is totally fine, and so is today's daily at large right now. We have made a decision that will have, you know, its own butterfly effect sort of repercussions. We chose not to take an item on the deal with the devil, and it totally, extremely, very much was not because I was worried about picking up a 1-heart item, walking on the spikes, and then dying instantly. It was because, ooh, I thought maybe we would be getting closer to Beelzebub there. I'm not sure. I guess Little Chub isn't a Beelzebub enabler, so we wouldn't have Beelzebub yet, but infestation should count, in my opinion. I think it does count, is what I mean. But yeah, no, the angel deals, they can be great. I chose to take, I wouldn't even say it's taking the conservative approach. I actually just think in this case it's the sensible approach, because none of the items in that deal with the devil were good enough to justify giving up half of our HP. I know there's a thought that if you don't take every deal with the devil item, when you have the opportunity and it gives you precedent, like, you're being a baby about it, but I disagree, you know? It's a smart decision in our case to limit that risk, because neither of the items were that interesting, to be frank with you, or that useful. So I stand by this decision until we get deals with the angel that give us absolute garbage, at which point I no longer stand by this decision, and I reserve the right to blame my decision on the people who created the daily instead of taking any degree of personal responsibility for it myself. As is my right as a Twitch streamer and YouTuber. Now, by the way, you might be saying, NL, you're noisy. You gotta get a compressor. I've seen the comments, I've seen the tweets, the Reddit posts. NL's gotta get a compressor. They always go, and I'm not saying that the criticism is invalid at all, but in my head, I'm still a dude in my underwear who records videos in his office that is about the size of a shoe closet, because that's, I mean, literally the depiction of how I'm living right now. But they always go like, it's unbelievable that this is his business and this is the way he treats his customers. And I'm like, you know what? You're right, but it hurts to hear. Because it's like, I'm the kind of person who, I can spend like infinity hours making content, but if I gotta fix one little sub-optimization about it, it's like, oh, it's pulling teeth, man. Like, I can't deal with it for some reason. It's like selective ADHD. Not to, you know, take sympathy for having a disorder I don't necessarily have, but do we have a spirit art in here? We do. Okay, I'm going to go back to the curse room right now then. But yeah, it's I'm recording these in OBS. OBS has a software-based compression for the microphone. That means when I yell really loudly, it shouldn't make your ears bleed anymore. However, it makes... If you can only take one, what do you take? Holy Grail. Wafer's great, but Holy Grail for the HP and to be able to fly, I think is our go here. Why that over Dead Dove? I value the HP more than I value the Spectral Tears. That's the easy answer there. Anyway, so the compressor's not on right now. You might be saying, I don't notice a difference. That's because the compressor's not on. Because it made my whole... Every time I talked, if I wasn't yelling, it made me sound like kind of an old-time radio announcer. And not even in the cool, like, you know, Fallout sort of way. So, I need to find some better settings for that compressor. But rest assured, you know, a change is gonna come. Either way, my change came like Sam Cooke. That's, Kanye West. I think that's We Major. It is We Major. Of course it's We Major. Now, wouldn't mind picking up a little extra damage here. We're not going to get it from the angel, obviously, but you got to fight the angel statue either way. Gives you better angel chances in the future, for one. We're going to be, like, less than a minute and a half behind schedule. It's not enough to cry about, but it is enough to maybe start to get a little worried. Other people might have made a different decision there, and I can understand a decision being made to take the wafer. I can even understand a decision being made to take... Wait, what's the point? I can understand a decision being made to take Dead Dove, although I very much disagree with the Dead Dove choice. Really hoping that was going to blow up in his face. Oh, come on. So what do I want from the boss? Honestly, I want chaos, not from the boss, because that's not possible, but I want chaos from the shop whenever we can afford it, because we need to stack up damage if we're going to make boss rush, and we are not looking like that's too freaking likely right now. Because Deals with the Angel are lower on damage to begin with. No matter how much you like Deals with the Angel, you have to admit, the high damage items tend to be clustered on the Deal with the Devil. Deal with the Angel's got a couple great ones. Do not get me wrong. Dude, you just saved my life right there. We got 3.50 damage up. I'm an extremely happy camper, and I'm moving along here. Still looking for guppy items. Tears ups, whatever I can get. Speed up, okay. One makes you small. Not against it. We have no chance at an arcade here, which honestly is kind of an oversight on my part. I spent more money than was necessary, and we could have used Ace of Diamonds to create one more penny to give us an arcade chance, but the other thing I will say is it was unintentional, but maybe it's for the best, because we don't really have time to be messing about with Deal with the Devil, or Blood Bank shenanigans right now, or any arcade shenanigans for that matter. Being as behind schedule as we are, we just want to make sure that... It's weird to say, because last run it was like the exact opposite, but on this run, the correct course of action is to take the safe way out by going to Boss Rush. Boss Rush is a safe way for us to get points and ensure that we got a chance to do okay on the rankings today. Dude, I actually hate that enemy. Stop that. What are you doing? Get some help. Okay. 2 items here. If we can be out of here by 14 minutes, which I think is fairly fast still, we should have a good shot here. And, you know, another Deal with the Angel. Wouldn't kick it out of bed for eating crackers. I don't think I want lard. I think lard... I've finally graduated out of the training wheels. Lard is a training wheels item. Sometimes you're still going to want it. I mean, if I was biking on the Nürburgring, I'd want training wheels. See, this is where the metaphor falls apart. Much like a bike that hasn't been fastened... No, okay, you get the idea. I don't need training wheels on this run anymore. We don't need 5 HP. 4 is enough, and the speed downgrade is way more cost than it's worth at this point. So we can blow that guy up for a little extra money. We do have Steam Sale. We did get the money, which is nice. So we're looking for a higher quality item. I don't think the map's quite good enough, but it's close. I'll take a random shop item instead, which is idiotic, but we didn't have anything better to replace it. Why do I say it's idiotic? Well, I mean, it worked out for us, but why would we ever, with a reroll machine, take a random item instead of rerolling into an item that we could actually know about? It's a valid question. Really makes you think. We should have kept a bomb so we could blow up an angel statue as well, but truth be told, this actually worked out very well. Better than it had any right to. Because we have Swallowed Penny, which is actually Crooked Penny now, and Crooked Penny is potentially worth a lot of points, potentially worth a couple of good items if we can get the charges to work for us properly. We don't need to pick that up yet. And I think it's pretty clear 14 minutes is not going to happen, and that just highlights that 14 minutes was kind of an idiotic estimation. That's why you make estimates. It's not called, you know, an accurate prediction of what's going to happen. It's an estimate. It's a best guess. It's an approximation of, you know, your educated guess. 1430 is not too bad. We do have a deal with the angel. I'm not going to try to double toothpicks. It's too good. I think you just take Holy Light. Holy Light's just good enough. Don't mess with it. And now we're still on this grind of trying to make it to boss rush, but we are good enough to survive boss rush now. And really, like, if I can toot my own horn a little bit here, at least we didn't let ourselves get beaten down by that terrible, terrible High Priestess play early. It's literally the faintest praise I can damn myself with, but we didn't just completely capitulate when I made one bad play. And you know what? It's nice. Doesn't always happen. But if you'll allow me, I'm going to pump my own tires a little bit here, because the whole point of this is so I'm confident enough to make it into and through boss rush and hopefully find a way to get an extra seam, of which one must exist. There must be a seam, because there are people here with nearly 50,000 points. Even if you have 30,000 points, that means you made it past boss rush. You might not have done boss rush, but you probably did, if I'm being 100% honest. So we're really at the point we got to be in there in the next 5 minutes. So we better look for good opportunities to get the heck out of Dodge. We could play a self-sacrifice room. That's one way out as well. Sure. I don't know about a judgment. I sort of don't really fathom how we would use this to get a teleport card, but just because it wouldn't give us a teleport card doesn't necessarily mean it's not great. It's the easiest decision of my life. And then you just buy another humbling bundle for reasons unbeknownst to me, but okay. We don't need the money. The money, well, we might need the money eventually, but we don't need the money right now. We got a humbling bundle anyway, that's the important part. 7 cents for everything out of that shop is a pretty solid deal. And we are gone. And we're gone in a timely enough fashion that I actually am... You could almost accuse me of being on schedule, which is amazing, I think. Oh, this is it. This is our opportunity. You pop Bracano. Just get it out of the system. Perthro. Perthro. Algiz. Awaz. Okay, he's done it. So this is... It's just what you take. Sure, we could take Perthro for now, but... You notice, like, the rate of my speech correlates to how panicked I feel about the boss rush timeline on our run. So I'm at like a 7 concerned right now, because we got the tools. We just need to make it work now. Okay. We're down to the next floor. We're in a lovely position. Definitely we'll be checking this out while we got the chance. You know what? You're a rascal. That's what you are. But I'm gonna give it a shot regardless. Okay, we got it. Speedball. Probably, like, nearly useless, but might have paid for the time it took to get it on this floor, at least. We don't need Doctor's Remote, just say goodbye to it. I don't even pick the items up anymore. I see a self-sacrifice room, and the self-sacrifice room is very interesting, but an AWAS rune means we're precluded from using that self-sacrifice rune, at least for now. What we're looking for now is honestly a blank card from the shop. Being able to use blank card AWAS is more valuable than just having one AWAS, and it's more valuable than the Crooked Penny as well. And this is what I love about dailies, even though you might be a little cynical about that. Sure, looking for a seam is really lame when you don't find one. It feels like you had a decent daily ripped out from under you. But when you find it, it's like that positive serotonin release of a plan gone right. Like, you organized around a principle, and that principle came true, and it makes you feel like a dang genius, even though it's pretty much preordained to happen by the existence of the run to begin with. So we're still looking for our shop. We should be able to beat Mom in a timely fashion. So I'm not sweating the time right now too much. It's a long trip back to the shop. And in order to get the... no, we have Steam Sale, disregard. I was going to say in order to get blank card, if it even exists, we'd have to use Crooked Penny, but we don't. We got more luck upgrades out of that. That's stupid and hilarious. Okay, grab this. I mean, there's battery charges, so yeah, that's what I was thinking. We might as well try to double it. Didn't work out. Life goes on. We got a minute to beat Mom. We could probably beat her fast enough to also chance to deal with the devil, or angel for that matter, and have something good happen, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Mom fight. It's a big moment for us. Boss rush is of the utmost importance. Don't freak out just yet, but you gotta go a little faster, I think. That's what we needed. A holy light shot to land on the foot, or on any segment where she takes consistent damage. Come on. We got this. Easy money. No Krampus, please. I think it's worth a check. Should have tried for the free item, maybe, but if you lose it, you lose it. That's the problem. You got it. You had to look. I'm sorry. You had to look. Take the Polaroid. Take these. Get in here. And Lusty Blood is a beautiful item. I will say... Oh, I mean, that was just stupid. I will say, I'm not using Crooked Penny in a way that you probably find that interesting. Remember, you can't use Crooked Penny to double opened chests anymore, so we can use it on occasion to try to get some doublings of consumables if we'd like. Lusty Blood is... I mean, we're probably at the damage cap for it, but that's fine. The real value in Crooked Penny is in the second doubling, because you know there's a 50% chance. I mean, this is ignorant of statistics, but give me a chance here. There's a 50% chance the first doubling fails. So if you have a Spirit Heart, 50% of the time you're gonna have 0 Spirit Hearts if you use Crooked Penny. 50% of the time you're gonna have 2. The EV stays the same, but that second doubling can give you 4 Spirit Hearts. Now, 50% of the time you're gonna lose 2. 50% of the time you're gonna have 4, but still, for some reason, despite the fact that it's that principle of like, I'm just smart enough to know how dumb I am. Like my animal brain is like the second doubling is the most important one. My human, I know humans are animals, okay? You're very intelligent, I promise you this, but my higher order functions are like, you're an idiot. But I'm still like, but it's like, you know, there's only 2 options. You can win the lottery or lose the lottery. It's a 50-50 chance. Poor damage. Very, very poor damage there. But it's okay. We'll persevere. I think the real way that you should approach it is if you don't need... Oh, brain, come on. You're letting me down on this one. If you don't need Spirit Hearts for survival, why not shoot for the moon? If you need Spirit Hearts for survival, you should probably pick up every single one that shows up, because a loss matters that much more. Like, a loss of a Spirit Heart matters that much more. As much as it pains me to admit, the real, like, here's the way I'm looking at this right now, is that it's possible that we may be unable to hit the seam we want to hit because it may require a self-sacrifice room. We don't necessarily have a ton of HP with which to be making a self-sacrifice room work right now. So it might have been the best choice of action to try to double Relic and Holy Light just so that we could pick up... I mean, in that case, we would pick up 2 Relics for the extra Spirit Hearts and 1 Holy Light, because Holy Light doesn't stack, but... the danger of that is, if it had failed, we probably wouldn't have even made Boss Rush. So that's why I took the, again, with a sensible approach there, but that sensible approach becomes less sensible in a situation like this, where it's possible it might hurt us. But we just need a couple more Spirit Hearts to seize the day here. Carpe diem. It means, Fish Hospital. Carpe diem. Sliding into those Carpe Diems like, you can do it. The black hole. We do not care. Thank God it's a legitimate Awaz rune. No, it's all about self-sacrifices. I'm like 3,000 points below where I'd like to be. And that is a pretty huge bummer. So, do we know this? No. If we could get a self-sacrifice room on this floor, that's fine by me. I'd like some Spirit Hearts to maybe make it pop. Otherwise, we're going to be in a pretty dicey situation where we like 150% need the Spirit Hearts from the self-sacrifice room to finance the endeavor here. The other opportunity is Hagalaz rune. We got to get out of this floor, though. Like, there's a trophy at the end of this floor. I think it's worth going for. Okay. Rarely does that work, but I still think you try. What I mean by that is that there's no trap door here. We can't just live for the next 2 floors as if we're fine. We have to, as quickly as possible, find our way out. Which typically at this point, the high percentage is a self-sacrifice room. So the more likely we are to bring that to fruition, the better. We could also just pick up infinity consumables. We have taken a deal with the devil item now, so if we get super lucky, we might be able to get like a shovel. Oh, I mean, we got a couple of cracks at the shovel, actually. So it'd be a great time to be bailed out. That's not the shovel, and I almost walked into the trophy. Neither of these are the shovel. However, I think you definitely take that. And then we save our HP in case we need it, like, immediately to go to a... sincere apologies, because we should have at least tried to double Little Brimstone. If we didn't want Little Brim, we should have tried to double it, because what's the worst case scenario? You don't get it, but you get a penny out of it. It's actually like a win-win. So that was a weak play for having Crooked Penny, and I admit that readily. Sure. So we have at least 2 items. If any of these other ones have items, they might. We should take the sacks right off the bat, because we might get super lucky with those. If any of these other ones were preordained to have items, they will continue to have items, so be lucky for us. That's going to be a lot of money. It's worth something. 2 Spirit Hearts, I'll live with it. That's probably going to be our 3rd and 4th Spirit Heart. No, just 3rd. Still, though. Okay, that's going to be another one. It's just a freaking spider, dude. Bad luck. We didn't quite get the consumable bonus I was hoping for there, if I'm being honest. I was hoping we'd be at like 24,000. Maybe mildly unrealistic. So I think you start to panic a little bit here. You lost? Start to panic a little bit here and go, Alright, how do we get out of this? One would be maybe stars into an error room. Barring that, curse room here, maybe? Secret room into the curse room, I mean? No. So now we choose whether or not we want to go into the curse room. I think we're probably going to want to. Death to a spades. Maybe we should have tried to double two of spades. But I think I've established on this run that I'm a widow baby who doesn't like to use crooked penny. I do like to use crooked penny. I'm just... You know what? I'm shaking off the boss rush adrenaline that had me playing fast and loose. And I'm feeling the burn a little bit. Yeah, I was going to say, there's no self-sacrifice room here. It just cannot exist. We also probably should have tried to double the AWAS rune, now that I think about it. That would have given us 2, and maybe given us the ability to get to a self-sacrifice room. And this is an awful moment, because all of a sudden, everything is becoming clear for me. Of course you should have gone to the second, or you should have tried to double the AWAS rune to make it 2 AWAS runes. It's a daily. It's not just like, well, you got screwed here, like, live with it. Like, you actually fairly... easily missed a chance at the seam. Now, it might have turned the AWAS rune into junk. Maybe you shouldn't have tried to double the AWAS rune, now that I think about it. Because if you had just used... That's such a bad bomb. If you had used the AWAS rune, that gives you a guaranteed, or at least like a 90% chance of going down to the womb 1, as long as it's not a crawl space. So you go down to the womb 1, you get some guaranteed points, hope for a self-sacrifice room. If you try to double it, you get a 50% chance of being able to get that second one, but if you don't get the first one, you definitely look like an idiot. I don't know, it's close. From an honest appraisal sort of situation, I think this one feels like a judgment call, but we still ranked okay, but I'm regretful, because I should have shot for the moon, but I didn't. Anyway, and I'm paying the price. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. And for now, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.